So let you know, rate right now, this market rate change, they are very like fluctuates like almost every week.
Mhm.
So our current rate right now is about 5.75.
Right, right now,
So that's the 7 year arm, and
Mhm.
not too many people they pick the 30 year because the rate quite a little bit higher than
Mhm.
the 7 years. And
Mhm.
I think it makes sense for this market, right? So they always pick the lowest rate in the market. Doesn't matter really the term. If you think about it, it's about the rate and the loan amount.
Okay.
The good thing with us is that if you are thinking to buy a home, I think it's good to pre-lock the rate right now, which is that's what Patelco offer. We can
Okay.
pre-lock for you 30 days. For example, rate just went up this Friday. And
Wow.
whoever gets the pre-approval to for me, they would get a lower rate on before Friday, 5.625.
Wow. Okay. So let's repeat the rates. So you're talking about in APR terms, you're talking about right now the ARM rate, 7 year fixed, 30-year
Mm-hmm.
loan programs. It is 5.75 today.
Correct.
So it's 5.75 APR
For the 7 years.
and 30-year fixed. So somebody is interested for 30-year over the
So
rate.
the 30-year fixed will be at least three-quarter higher.
Okay. So three
Mhm.
quarters is like 6.25 or
Yes,
6.125.
correct.
Okay. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and today I'm joined by today joined by Catherine Pham, and we're discussing everything about the mortgage related. You can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877 Bolly 92, right now live on a Bolly 92.3. So, Catherine, since the one good thing about you told me is rates are like you can lock it for a 30 years, sorry, 30 days, right? Once you have a
Mhm.
pre-approval, you can lock it for 30 days. Can you touch upon that one more on that?
Yes, correct. So not too many people offer, that you can pre-lock without the property address. And
Mhm.
also, of course, you want to know how much you can qualify before you want to go see the home. And
Correct.
then we adding on that, on top of that, yes, you are ready. Here it's the rate. I'm gonna lock it for you 30 days. So that
Mhm.
way you have a peace of mind. You can, hey, this is my interest rate. It's not gonna go anywhere for the next 30 days. But of course that it's also go if it lower, of course we're gonna lock for you lower. But if it go higher, then of course we're gonna keep you the lower rate for you for the next 30 days.
Okay, let's repeat on that so that first time home buyers, a lot of people are listening in. So somebody come to you today for pre-approval, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you pre-qualify for some loan amount, and you can lock in today's rate, whatever it is,
Correct.
today's rate. So
Yes.
that way they can have a piece of if they're buying going into a contract within the next 30 days. Within next
Correct.
30 days, they are pretty much sure the rates will not change.
Yes. Correct.
But if for any reasons the rates drops, you would be able to lock into the lower rate. So
Correct.
I think I have one question, follow-up question on that. So in this 30 days, let's assume you're not going into a contract. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But after 30 days, they can still lock one more time, or like they should wait until they go into a contract.
Yes, correct. So they after the 30 days, of course we can pre-lock again another 30 days, but whatever the current rate is.
Okay, so it is like any number. For example, they take a 3, 4 months. Also, doesn't matter. For every month, you can know that the rates are pretty much. You can go and lock it for the lower rates until they
Correct.
get into a
Yes.
contract.
Yes.
Okay.
When it expire, you can pre-lock again, but it has to go with that current market rate.
Okay, current market rate. So, listeners,
Mhm.
myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, I'm today with the Catherine Pham discussing about a lot of mortgage options, especially mortgage rates with a Patel Co. Right now is really great rates, and would like to know more about how does the rates are. Like you would like you're a first time home buyer, no need to know more about how it works. You can give me a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. Today live in Bolly 92.3. And one more thing, all these shows are live on YouTube also. If you'd like to leave a comments there, also more than welcome to leave the comments there. So, Catherine, I think I have the more follow-up questions on this. This is very interesting what you told me about this. You can lock in for 30 days, and again you can keep renewing until it. So that's a lot of peace of mind, right? A lot of buyers out there because they
Mhm.
know that market of fluctuating so much right now.
Yes, correct. And then another thing is just not that. We also have a good program as well.
Mhm.
As a lot of people know, their stock market right now it was is not that good. So
Yeah.
sometimes people want to save that, don't want to sell all your stock. So we do have a 10% down as well, up
Wow.
to
Okay.
1.6 million on purchase price, almost 1.7, let's
Uh-huh.
say.
Uh-huh.
And it's the same rate. So I mean, a lot of people out there, they have so much money, but they don't want to put everything, in one egg, in one basket. So
Okay.
they will save some money for their investment, and then some of them to the house. So I think this is very good strategy for
Uh-huh.
those people like to be invest.
I think
Like
very good thing about you is like you means the Patel Co is like they have 10%, other 90% is the loan, and you're going with the
correct.
PMI option itself, right?
Yes, one loan only.
One loan only, which is really good. Like, so no need of 10, 10, 80. It's a 10 plus 90 and it's a PMI. So
Yes.
how are so again, the PMIs are varies based on the credit scores. How does the PMI
Yes.
is doing right
So
now?
of course, the PMI is based on your loan amount and the credit score. The higher credit score, the lower PMI because it's less risk.
Okay.
And the PMI is minimal. It's not like $500.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like I seen what max is. I see around 300 something the max, but usually 200, 250. That's the average. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, it depends on your credit score. The minimum we need is 740. Okay, for the
Minimum
10%.
740. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I think so minimum 740 is what you like mostly you qualify for the PMIs. But let's walk through the scenarios. Like for example, somebody's buying a 1.5%, 1.5 million with a
Mm-hmm.
10% down. With a
Mm-hmm.
10% down, that's like basically they can go up to 1.65 purchase, right?
Correct.
1.65 million purchase. Then let's assume their credit scores are 740. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, these are the scenarios just we are going to discuss, and nothing perfect until Catherine goes through the all the client scenarios. I'm just giving an example so that it might be helpful for you people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to, so if it is a 1.5 million, 15, 10% down, and it's a good credit score, our the PMIs right now we are looking at.
So probably I would say around 250,
Wow,
260.
that's really good. Not much. And one more thing, let's talk about the scenario. They bought the
Mm-hmm.
property now, and if they find another 10% down in next 2, 3 months, if they
Mm-hmm.
pay off the PMI will go, or like they need to refinance to remove the PMI.
So you do not have to refinance to remove
Huh?
your PMI, but we do have to wait for 1 year
Huh?
because within the 1 year, we can use the new value of your home
Mm-hmm.
to remove PMI. Because of course, your value go up, meaning you have more equity. And
Correct.
then, so that means as long as you have 20% on equity, we can remove it. But we have to wait for 12 months in order to use the new value.
Okay, so you need to wait for 1 year at least to remove the PMI. But for example, you arrange for another 10% doesn't mean you can go and pay off the another 10%, the PMI will not be removed automatically.
Yeah, you have to wait for 1 year. It doesn't matter if you put more money or
Uh-huh.
you have to wait for the value to go up.
I think it makes sense, right? A lot of people right now, the stock markets are most of the times are all-time low,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
If instead of doing it like 20% down, start with 10%, wait for another 10%, 10, one
Yes.
year, then later you
Yes.
can do it.
And if you think about it, let's say 1.5 million purchase price, that's 150,000. And if let me say, hey, if I say I will lend you 150,000 and
Uh-huh.
your payment will give me around 250 to $300 a month, I think it's still a good deal. Because if you borrow somebody 150,000, that's not how much you pay per month.
Yeah, it's perfect sense because why you need to put you borrowing another 10% from the stocks, especially you're depending on the stocks situation,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need to sell your stocks, pay your again taxes for that. It again
Correct.
depends short term or a long term stocks. Again depends on all that scenarios.
That's true.
Why
Yeah.
put everything like you're just saying $250, 250 into is even if you're considering it as for 1 year, it is less than a $3,000 payment, right? Like if
Yes.
yeah, it's less what less than is less than a 3,000 close to a $3,000, which makes sense.
Yes. Even $300 a month mortgage insurance, I think is still doable. It's still perfect, makes sense.
Yeah. So, listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, I'm live with today with Catherine Pham discussing about lot of scenarios on the credit unions, especially how the Patel Co is offering. The reason I bring in a different lenders so that every lenders has their own like positives and depending on the client scenarios, right, and depending
Mhm.
on what kind of property they are doing, and based on that every lenders will help out. And again, every lender will be having a seasons where the rates are very good compared to other lenders. So would like to introduce to a lot of lenders so that you have that contacts when you get into a purchase. So this rates, whatever I got really from Patelco is really good rates. And again, the Catherine family is a seasoned expert in, especially, and she helps a lot of home buyers, especially first time home. Your expertise in first time home buyers, right, Catherine?
Yes, yes. First time buyer or any buyer would be the same, but as we Patelco, we dedicate help a first time buyer to move into her first home because our underwriting very lenient, straightforward.
Uh-huh.
We have a very minimal conditions,
Uh-huh.
help people get in without stressful, long process. So we are here to help anybody want to get in their first home.
Got it. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, today live with Catherine Pham. And if you have any questions, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877 Bolly 92. And one more thing, we are live on a YouTube also. You can leave your comments in there. I think this leads to, I think before continuing a single family, right? Like I would like to little bit jump on the condos, right? I would like to understand how are your scenarios? Is it tough qualifying for the condos? How do you look for the condos? And I think one by one, like I would like to understand on the condos, how the condos do you do for condos also?
Oh yeah, definitely. Condo is a big thing right now too because a lot of people, young people, they like to move into condo, no maintenance, and it's new, and then newer too. And as you know, that condo is hard to get a loan because everything is attached to the HOA.
Okay.
you know it's a little bit longer process, but we also do that, and we do have offer the 10% down too, plus with the same rate. Most of the lender, they give you at least a quarter higher on the condo because
Uh-huh.
it's, of course, it's a little bit different than a single family, right?
Okay.
And then you cannot really do 10% on condo. Now
Okay.
Patelco's there. That's why I said, we are here helping the first home buyer owner, either condo or a townhouse or a single family. But condo, we definitely, have a niche for it. As far as the HOA, you need to know there are no litigation.
Uh-huh.
Um, the balcony now you have to be,
I think
meet.
that's one of the challenging right now, especially I think last
Correct.
week it was an eye opener for me. Like we went into 1 week into a contract, and then we come with the litigations,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
HOA never mentioned about the litigations. Then, as the like lender goes in and checks it, there's an litigations. I think some of the lenders doesn't do that.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, for us, it's the same thing. Litigation, we do not
Uh-huh.
want to touch it, but at least once the underwriting, come into place with the HOA,
Mhm.
we do have, a little bit lenient, on the condo as well.
Got
Okay,
it.
but I
Got it.
thought that, yeah,
So let me take a quick break, Catherine. Listeners, don't go anywhere. Like we'll come back, discuss more about the Bay Area real estate and a mortgage related. Let's like, take a quick break.
sure.
To buy or sell a property and for all your real estate needs, contact Tech Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, your friendly real estate guide. Nagaraj Annaiah, the one-stop shop for all real estate needs. Call 408-805-4653 or log on to nagarajhomes.com.
Welcome back to the show, listener. Welcome back to the show, listeners. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and today I'm talking to Catherine Pham, discussing most of the mortgage-related scenarios for the Bay Area real estate, because Bay Area real estate is so tough right now. Especially I think some places the prices are going down, Catherine, and some places, especially South Bay, we are noticing the prices are not going down. Right?
No, no.
Are
In
you
the Bay
observing the same?
Area, I hope it's going down so people can buy more, but that's not the case.
I think since we discussed about I think let me give out the numbers. Listeners, our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877. Easy to remember. 877 Bolly 92. Anything, any small questions on the Bay Area real estate or on the mortgage, you can give us a call. Our studio line number 877 Bolly 92. I think let's talk about the prices first. Are we noticing the price? Because you also do a lot of loans around. Okay. I think
Definitely.
how are you noticing like is appraisals are coming in nowadays, or like how is your observations right now?
So definitely there's always challenging in
Okay.
any market. At this point, I don't see people competing a lot like before, like 100, 200,000 over asking price.
Correct.
So basically the market correct itself, which is they go whatever the buyer willing to pay, which is I think this is fair market at this moment. But as far as the house coming down, I don't see it. Um,
That's I would like to touch more upon that. I think you said a valid point there. Buyers are not willing to pay higher than the list price. I think not like crazy like last year it used to be like 100K, 200K. Sometimes I observed myself where we had given a 150K more than the appraisal value, right?
yes,
150K more than the appraisal
I
value.
agree.
Now I don't see that scenario happening. That's why it's a good balanced market if somebody wants to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Balanced market, because lot of people what they do is like they keep on waiting for a longer time,
Mm-hmm.
then they lose out. Again, it would have
Right.
changed it to a seller's market. It changes so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
again, depending on which area they're going to buy. Are they going to buy in a South Bay? Are they going to buy in a East Bay? Right.
Mm-hmm.
South Bay, we are noticing in not much changes in, especially on the prices, like basically it's closer to the list price or a little bit higher on the list price. That's what we are noticing in. East Bay, especially San Ramon, Dublin, Livermore, Pleasanton,
Mm-hmm.
all these areas prices are just crashing right now. That's what I'm not, and homes are sitting more than the like 1 month, 2 months. I'm the right now the scenarios of 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Maybe you're also observing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So East Bay slow down, complete slow down, because especially the offices are opening up right now,
I
right?
see.
And last week again, the Uber announced it. They're making a compulsory for 3 days a week.
Mm.
So all the employers are jumping in, saying the 3 days, 4 days. I have seen one of client also, right? Like I met in one of the open house in the condo. They had a single family home in San Ramon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to buy a condo, two bed, two bath in Milpitas,
Mm.
because it's easy for them to commute. They can stay here, and on the weekends they can go back to a single family home there.
I see.
That is
Mm.
one of the interesting observation I've noticed. This family who came in over at bought a bigger house. They're saying, okay, let's have a smaller condo also here because it avoids the commuting.
Mm. I see. Okay,
Yes.
and then also as an investment in the long term as well.
Yeah, and as an investment also. But if somebody wants to buy an East Bay, this is the
Mm-hmm.
perfect time to jump in, because you can borrow, like basically you can negotiate lesser than 200K, 250K. You don't believe it. One of the Pleasanton home, it was listed for close to 2.9. Okay, and
Mm.
we had put an offer less than 200K. 2.7, but we backed out at the end of the moment. But now that home is like this, seller has reduced to 2.5.
Mm. Wow. I
What?
see.
How much I'm noticing the difference? 400K difference. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
seller might not sell for 2.5, maybe close to 2.6, 2.65. At the end of the day, he reduces to get more bids out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Pleasanton, San Ramon, Dublin, Mountain House, all these areas need
Mm-hmm.
an expert like me who knows the market, actually what's happening in there. Don't
Mm-hmm.
go jump in like I've seen some of them making different things like saying that go work with a listing agent itself. They're offering 100K, but they actually doesn't know it can be reduced another 100K more.
Mm. Wow, interesting. Mm.
So that's why experts make a difference. I never go with the listing agents itself, because you don't know what is actual the market. You just believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Why you have a bias agent? Bias agents are there to negotiate for you in the better terms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to Catherine from my Patel course. She has a wonderful rates. It's really the rates. One more thing we didn't touch upon, all these rates are without a relationship.
Yes, correct. Oh, yes, that's a big thing too. Yeah, a lot of big banks they want invest you transfer over and get some discount. We do not do that. We treat everybody equal. Let's do that. Let's so, yes,
Equal.
if
Yes.
you have a lot of money, we still treat you fabulous. if you have enough, we still treat you the same. Extra
Yeah.
fabulous.
No, I think the rates are really, the reason I was really impressed are like these rates are without a
Yes.
relationship. A lot of lenders, especially Wells Fargo, other lenders do offer on 5.5, 5.625. It's like one, maybe 0.125 difference, right? But they're asking you to transfer for $1 million.
Yeah. And by the way, we can also match the rate too.
Okay.
So it's not like 100% every time, but we do have we do that too.
So somebody gets you a 5.5, can you match for 5.5?
Yes, we can. Yes, I do have match with 5.5. Yes, I did, but I don't want to say 100% every time, but depends on the situation. But more, it's like 89 or 90%. Yes.
Okay. So listeners, matching means, for example, what she's trying to say is, the Catherine is like somebody is like gets a 5.5 somewhere in the market. Again, I think I would like to touch upon what you said, matching. If somebody is matching with the relationship and they get you the discounts, are you going to match without a relationship now?
Yes, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do behind the scene with other bank. All we need is just know, hey, this is my rate, and can you match with me with that bank? That's all we need. We don't ask, oh, is this relationship or how much you put. We don't ask about that. Either we match it or not.
Okay. Okay, that's really interesting then. So I think one more thing is like we didn't touch upon was the condo questionnaires, right? We
Mhm.
just discussed about the condo. How like important is for condo questionnaire if somebody is buying condos?
So condo, when you're in the condo, there's so many questions and concern like, hey, HOA, what do they cover? The insurance wise, what can you have access to? As far as it depends on like how new the condo. Sometimes you don't have to worry about the insurance. All you do, if there, pool or anything you can access. I think that's very important.
Mhm.
As far as a condo, we treat the single family is a little bit different, but it's the same. As
Okay.
far as HOA is there, everything taken care of. We we do offer the condo loan.
Okay. So so listeners, when you're buying a properties, especially a condos, right, be careful about how old the property is, because sometimes, as she was saying, the Catherine was saying, like some of the condos right now, because of stricter California guidelines, they're renovating it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially balcony upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
If so, say the balcony upgrades and the other stuffs are you doing, means maybe that you are not qualified with some of the lenders, but there are some lenders you might not, it might help you out. So but give it upfront so that way it is lenders can tell you they can do it or not. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And Catherine, if somebody wants to reach out to you, how is the best way to contact, and so that you can give out your number to them?
Yes, my phone number is 408-757-5868, and I work 24/7.
Catherine, I do work for 24/7, anything on the real estate or anything on the mortgage related. If you need catch up on the Catherine Pam's number, you can always reach out to me, and I'm happy to share her number and introduce to her, so that you always get treated, especially on the mortgage related, on the better things. Okay. And the best way to contact me is go to nagarajhomes.com, click on a WhatsApp icon, click on a WhatsApp icon. That's the way you can connect with me, or you can leave me or call me or text me anytime. And one more thing, I have a couple of houses coming up. One is in the next week, Catherine. I have one good condo coming up in a Milpitas, not in a Milpitas, San Jose, South Winchester Boulevard, very close to happening place, Stevens Creek, right?
Oh, wow, that's a good area.
It's a 3 bed, 2 bath, going to be listed for close to 900K, and they can reach out to me to know more about this property. And anything, anytime, if somebody is trying to invest on the real estate, do reach out to me for the better guidance so that you can make a proper investments, especially in the Bay Area, because Bay Area is being so tough. You need an expert. As I was telling you, East Bay, South Bay itself, so many changes right now is happening. You need an expert to handle. That's where I come into your place. Thank you so much, Catherine. And thank you so much for all the listeners out there. Thank you.